Well, Rhio, welcome to the Grapple Theory podcast. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. New ICW Women's Champion. That must sound pretty good, right?
Oh, yeah. Every time someone says it, I'm like, oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go. It's never going to get old. Never.
No, it's awesome. It's awesome. And obviously you got like a lot of publicity for that title win. Maybe not for the title win, but we'll come to that later. We'll start with actually winning the title. Obviously, Molly is someone who's like so good, so like synonymous with ICW as well. To have ICW put that faith in you to be like, we're the ones that want you to take the belt off her. How does that feel in terms of a sort of a validation thing from them?
Do you know, like, it's mad because you just, like, when I first got booked to ICW and stuff, I thought, like, you know, it's the opportunity of a lifetime and stuff, and I've always wanted to work at ICW, especially for me being Preston and Northern-wise. It's like easier for me to get to Glasgow than it is for me to get to London. Yeah. So, you know, like, it is always the bigger promotion that was closest to me. So I was always wanting to get on it, and, you know, back in the days, so I say back in the day, but, like, you know, the women that I saw that were really killing it, like Kaylee Rain, Viper, when they were really having their intense feuds there, I was like, oh, that's where I want to be. I want to be in that moment. And they kept adding people like Session Mark and Casey Owens, and then later on to add like Angel Hayes and Molly Spartan. I was like, yeah, these are the women that I want to be in there with. You know what I mean? I want to be part of this. So when I got the initial kind of email, I was just so happy with that. But then as time went on, my focus did start to go on to the Women's Championship and stuff like that. So, and even though it was great at the start to get the initial kind of, you're at ICW, it's the maintenance, you know. It's all well and good getting the booking, but you do have to maintain it. So, you know, if you show up and you don't deliver, it's probably the last time you're going to be there, or, you know, last time for a while maybe, or whatever. So I knew that I had something to prove there and stuff, and a lot of people, you know, they probably didn't know who I was because, you know, the Scotland scene's a bit different, so they may have seen little bits, or they might have not seen anything, so I knew definitely it was like from the ground up kind of thing running in there. So yeah. I was gonna say, because like to start off with that.
No, I was gonna say just like last night I recorded another podcast going out in a couple of weeks with Amir Jordan, and we were talking about like obviously his career, and more so like the journey of like how the journey getting somewhere can be more enjoyable than like actually being there. In terms of the journey for you, like especially in the sense of ICW, is the journey getting booked on ICW, like for that first time, more daunting, or is it, once you're there, is it more daunting because you're like, right, now I've got to stay here?
I think for me, usually it's the journey with stuff, but with ICW, it was very much when I was there. Because I didn't really expect it. Like, I was just kind of working along, hoping, you know, like you do, and I'm like trying to catch their eye and stuff. But then when I caught their eye, I was like, okay, this is good. But how do I stay? Coming from, like, you know, I live 3 hours away from them. So, and I know, like, ICW, they have a lot of talent up in Scotland anyway. So how do I then especially present to them that I'm worth not just having on your show, but also having to bring me 3 hours, you know, 3 hours set from their south, you know, my north kind of thing. How do I make sure that is worth it, especially, like, every show or whatever? So, like, it is definitely, with ICW, it's the maintenance, the staying there and making myself, like, a worth to them to keep bringing up and to keep investing in. So that was always, like, oh, God. It's going to be hard work, but it's worth it because it's, like, that pushes me harder. You know what I mean? Like, I knew that there is no time for complacency, which I'm not a complacent person anyway. I hate complacency, but there was no time for, like, kind of easing off or anything. It had to be, like, full steam every day, every time. And I think it pushes me to work harder outside of wrestling as well, like at the gym. Yeah. Because I know that I have to keep maintaining my look of who I am. You know, like, for me, being a smaller build doesn't really work, so I have to maintain a certain level of muscle mass to, you know, to look like how I like to look. So it's not even just the maintenance in wrestling, it's the outside maintenance. And, like, again, it's like the travelling back and then travelling up and down Scotland and still, you know, doing 3 hours travelling and then being able to bring it in the ring and stuff. Which maybe to the American viewers, they're like, 3 hours.
For them, it's easy, yeah. Oh, we've had people from like Canada and America come on, and like they're like, oh, like we'll come over to the UK, and everyone will be like, oh, it's a 2 hour journey, what a pain, and we're like, what? That's easy. And I'm like, for them, like, yeah, obviously it feels that way, because, like, the next promotion is 6 hours away or something.
That's it, yeah, they do mad drives, don't they?
It's wild.
Like, when they've come over, they've been like, oh, you know, it's just like 10 hours. I'm like, like 10 hours? And that's one way? I'm like, what? How are you doing this in a day? How are you driving 10 hours, wrestling on your show, and driving? Your days are 24 hours for one show. That's insane.
Yeah, you're literally, like, taking a whole day. It's mental. It's mental. The grind is crazy. Is that something... Would you accept the grind, though? Would you accept that 10-hour drive if it meant going out to America?
Yes. I'd be a bit like, ugh. And I'd probably moan all the way there and all the way back. But, yeah, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, a show's a show. You're getting a chance to show what you can do to the fans there. And, you know, there's people that paid a ticket to see you in particular, maybe. Not just the card, but people really want to see you, and to not do that, I'd feel bad and stuff, and I wouldn't like it. If I'm booked for a show, there's a reason I'm booked. Maybe people have asked for me, or, you know, whether that be talent, they want to, you know, people want to wrestle me, or whether that's fans, they want to see me, or whatever, or maybe there's promoters just off a chance in me. There's someone who's given me a chance there, regardless of destination. So I've got to at least, you know, show up. But yeah, I would definitely moan for 10 hours there and 10 hours back. It would not be, you know, it wouldn't be a silent journey, let's be honest.
It would, yeah. Feel bad for whoever's in the car with you.
I'd feel sorry for whoever had that horrible task of being with me.
They'd be like, oh my God, she didn't shut up the whole time.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Love it. Well, in terms of America, it seems like without, like, even being there, you've already broken America because of the infamous balcony fall that is now just legend on social media. I mean, obviously, like we were talking about before when we were arranging this, obviously you've had, like, positive and negative. A lot more positive from what I've seen than negative in terms of the response to it. But first of all, talk to me about, like, just how did it come about? How did you decide you guys wanted to do this? And, like, how did it feel doing it? Like, because, I mean, it's a pretty sweet bump. It's, like, crazy. But, like, how does it feel when you're in that moment, like, flying through the air downwards towards the ring there?
To be honest, it really, like, it wasn't that bad. And I know that sounds bad to say, it really wasn't. I think the clips, and especially the one in particular that's gone viral, like the fan footage, where he sat, it looks a lot higher than it actually is. So when you're actually in there, it wasn't that high, I would say.
I was going to say, it's not too far above the top rope, like...
No. I mean, we were back at, like, the 229, weren't we, on Saturday? See, you think it's the weekend, too?
The days mess with you, don't they?
Yeah. Wednesday was it? Jesus Christ. Wednesday, and it's probably the same as theirs. You know, like, they've got, like, not a balcony as such, but they've got, like, a...
That little, like, square bit at the top there, yeah.
Yeah, it was probably that. So it's not that bad. It's like I say, it's just the footage that makes it look like it's so much higher.
Yeah.
But, like, for me, it's, again, the negativity came from people who either have never watched ICW or haven't followed it recently or anything like that, because everyone at ICW, like, they were like, oh my God, are you actually alive? You know, they were like, there was that question arising and stuff, but at the same time, they're used to stuff like that, you know, like, and the fans as well. The fans of ICW are used to, and maybe, you know, I mean, I can't speak for them, but I would, in my opinion, they expect craziness. It's insane championship wrestling for a reason, you know, like, and the things that if you do go back and watch, you know, old ICW, because obviously with the time on the network and stuff, there was things when they were on the WWE network, there's obviously things they can and can't do. So when they were old ICW before the signing of the network, if you watch that stuff, then you look at mine and go, oh God, what was everyone complaining about? Because they had crazy stuff, you know, and they have, like, Kings of Insanity matches and stuff. And if you watch those, or the Queens of Insanity matches, where, you know, it's craziness. There's, like, a cheese grater in, like, the Queen of Insanity match and things like that. So I was kind of confused, but we just knew it had to be something big. So, and for me, like, I just think I would rather do something big. And maybe I would have regretted it if I got hurt. But I didn't get hurt. And I would have hated to regret not doing it, if that makes sense. You know, like, if I didn't do anything big, I hate to sit here and have gone, oh man, like, I wish we'd have done something bigger. I wish, You know, I don't want that. I'd rather go for it and go, oh well, something happened. Yeah. As long as I'm alive, obviously. But something happened, and maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. But I coming through, I got told, and I try and tell the trainees that I train at Top Rope that it's one of those, like, wrestling's trial and error for me. Like, there's things that you think won't work that will, and vice versa. So you've just got to give it a go. I mean, I always use the example of Bray Wyatt. I think he's an incredible person for it. And I know it's not the same, it's like moves and character, but his character was a case of trial and error. You know, he didn't just come up with Bray Wyatt when he was at his peak or The Fiend and stuff off a whim. Like, he's had to try it. Did it work? Yeah. And I think there's some podcasts where he said he's had all these characters. He's tried them. They haven't worked. So he's gone back to the drawing board again and gone, okay, what'll work this time? So for me, it was like, I knew it was something big. I wanted something big. And I did it. I basically did what I wanted.
No, I was going to say, were you the one that wanted to do it? Did you bring it to Molly and ICW? Were you like, I want to do this? Or was it like were you battling to be like, no, I want to do it?
Yeah, to me, no, it was me. It was all me. It was me, stupidly enough.
No, I love it. It's a great sport. And that's the thing, isn't it? Like, especially in a case like this, I think it's the case that, like, even the people talking negatively about it, they're sharing it, they're putting it out there, and then other people who are seeing it who will love it. So, like, you're really getting great publicity out of it, like, all round, I think.
100%, yeah.
But, like, I don't want to, like, get into, like, a sort of make this a whole thing, but do you think that it's, like, I don't know how to word this. Do you think it's possibly, like, a bit of, like, a sexism thing in the sense that you see, like, male competitors do that stuff all the time, and from what I see, no one seems to bat an eyelid? Or do you think, again, like you were mentioning, do you think it's also perhaps an indie wrestling thing where people are like, oh, they can do this stuff on the big shows, but they shouldn't do it on the indies? Like, do you think there's a bit of both of those in there?
100%, yeah. 100% a bit of both. I think there's a few aspects to it. I think the main two are what you just said then. I do think one of them is the fact it's women. Because, like, if you watch AEW and, you know, I know the tag match, Ruby Soho and Willow Nightingale against Tay Mello and Anna Jay.
Yeah, there was loads of stuff in that.
That caused uproar because of the blood. You know, it's like, oh, people kicking off, women are bleeding, like, okay.
Yeah. What? What's the problem?
Women do bleed.
Exactly, you know? Yeah.
Okay. That's what I don't get. It's like, there is medics. She's going to be okay. We're not, you know. So I think that aspect of women aren't allowed to do, or there's this thing of women aren't allowed to do crazy stuff. Or stuff that, you know, is like out there. Which, why? Why not? You know, I don't get that myself, but if that's someone's opinion, whatever. I just ignore those people. But yeah, I definitely think there's an aspect to women, because I know Drew McIntyre, I know him now, they did something off the exact same balcony as us. They got nothing. No problems with them. But then we did it, and it's like, uproar. So, yeah, there's that aspect. And then there is also the aspect of where you work and how much, because we had a lot of, like, oh, you're doing all that for a hot dog and a handshake in front of 20 people. And you're like, well, to me, I go out, regardless if there's 20 people there or 20,000. Why should I treat the 20 people any different? Why should I give them less of a show?
Yeah.
So, you know, them fans then, if they paid a ticket and showed up and there's only 15 other people around them, are they going to be happy that a wrestler goes, okay, well, there's only 20 people, so we'll just, you know, we'll do nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you wouldn't be happy like that, would you? You know, because you paid the same money anyway. You paid your money and you want what you paid for. So, for me, it's that, like, thing of, oh, so if it was a bigger show with how many thousand fans and I'm on this certain salary, it's okay to do that. But because, again, like you say, because it's the indies and it's less money and less people, it's not okay. I think people are really missing out on the principle, because there was also the other argument of it, and I know it came later on, with a lot of people were saying, oh, that's dangerous, that's reckless, it's unsafe. Like, for me, if something's unsafe, I would have got hurt from it. I didn't, you know, like, I didn't get hurt. I didn't hurt anybody else. Like, no one was hurt in this whole thing. So how you can kind of say it's, like, unsafe and stuff, I don't really know. You know, dangerous, yeah. It could have, there was a lot of risk to it. But that's wrestling. Every time you take a pile driver, there's extreme risk to it. Every time you step in between the ropes and into the ring, there's a huge risk. There's a reason so many wrestlers are injured, and there's a reason that, some moves are banned in certain companies, because it's risky. That's wrestling. So, I just accept that. So I don't know why some people deem it like that, but I don't know.
No, you're right though. That's the thing, isn't it? Like, again, we've seen people get like injured taking just regular bumps. Do you know what I mean? Like a back body drop or like off the top rope or something. You see people get injured. So like the fact that you're saying, oh, like, yeah, okay, maybe there's like a higher chance of injury from a more dangerous spot, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. And it doesn't mean that, again, just because you're a woman, it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it when someone, again, like Noam Dar's one. Like Noam Dar's one, I think, was wilder than like your one in terms of the fact he does like a backflip off it, and no one cared. No one gave a shit. Like,
no, that's it. Yeah.
So like, yeah, again, like you see Darby Allin do it like week in, week out on Dynamite, and everyone's like, oh, Darby Allin's so cool. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. And again, like you talk about like the bleeding, like, I mean, Charlie Evans loves to bleed, and she's one of the best wrestlers in the world, like male or female.
Exactly. It's just the point. It doesn't take away from the wrestler. Like a woman bleeding doesn't take away from the wrestler that she is. And I think, like we say, when we kind of work towards the thing of women are wrestlers, it doesn't need to be this woman wrestler has done this. That's how, like, anything online always comes across. Female wrestler does this. How about wrestler does this?
Yeah.
Why? No, I think it's just not necessary.
Yeah.
It's really not necessary. And it's like, like the amount of outrage, people, women are bleeding. No. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
What are you mad about?
Yeah.
We bleed like everybody else. We're not a different species. We literally feel how everyone else feels. We bleed how everyone else bleeds. It's all the same. It's just we're a different gender. Like, I don't get how that transcends over, It's
ridiculous. Like when you're on a card and like someone's like, oh, the next match is a women's match. I hate that so much. Like, I'm just like, okay, like you can see that when they walk out, right? But there's still two wrestlers. It's just a match, right? It's just the same match that you had before.
This is it, yeah. This is completely, and it makes it feel like there's different rules to it. Like, it's okay to go the next match as a tag match, because then maybe someone who's new to wrestling doesn't understand. Okay, so the tag needs to be done, and there's legal people in the ring, and etc., etc. So yeah, okay, highlight a tag match, or highlight a no DQ match, or whatever, because there's stipulations to it, or there's different rules to your average singles match. So then, yeah, great, announce it then. But like you say, it's a women's match.
Yeah.
But the rules remain the same to a singles men's match. There is no different rules. There's no different wrestling. It's still the same. You're still gonna get like a wrist lock or a headlock. You're still gonna, you're still gonna see arm drags or hip tosses and things like that. You're gonna see the same moves.
Exactly.
We don't,
No, exactly. Spot on.
That's the problem of women's wrestling, I guess. That you have to keep putting it in.
Yeah.
You have to say women's wrestling because it's always going to be a problem that lies within us, I guess.
Yeah. I was going to say, because again, I think that's very apt. I think that's very appropriate, because we're recording this now during Women's History Month, obviously a couple of days removed from International Women's Day. Do you think, like, obviously, you've experienced it, these sort of like issues of things like sexism in the industry, especially like with the balcony dive, like we've just discussed. But like, do you think there is still, like, how much do you think women's wrestling, in terms of women in wrestling, how much do you think it's improved in terms of the way women are treated in wrestling, and how far is there still to go in terms of making sure that, again, shit like people being outraged over a balcony spot the two women have done is just not a thing anymore? Like, how far away are we from that, do you think?
Oof. I don't know, I think with things like that, I think there's always going to be little rumblings, I think. There's always going to be a few voices online, which is, again, maybe the problem with social media, to be fair. There's still going to be the people online hiding behind the Simpsons profile picture, like, still those people who wouldn't say it to you in the street that are going to cast their opinions because they know fine well they can. So I think there'll always be bits of that because I think that not only just comes with wrestling or women's wrestling, I think it comes with social media. So there's some kind of outside wrestling aspects that come into wrestling. So I think there'll always be a little bit, but I think what will change is maybe other people's mentality of it as the women are getting stronger now. Because like I think as every day goes on, more and more women's wrestlers are just like, no, we're not taking this. Like, you know, in the past, not that they had to, but it was kind of just like, well, where can they go? No one was going to listen to them, or you know, there was not going to be any action done. But I think with ever growing kind of outside again, maybe wrestling things, equity and women's rights kind of things, as women's rights in the world, I think, come up, then women are getting stronger and kind of speaking and saying, look, we're not just going to take this anymore. We're not going to take like a pay gap. We're not going to take this. We're not going to take that. Again, it goes down to if we're doing the same job and we're doing it exactly at the same level, why would we, you know, like outside wrestling, why would they pay any different? Stuff like that. So I think definitely as we stand up and we have people like yourself and fans, you know, around the world that are going, no, leave them alone, let them do what the men do. Why are you changing it? I think the more all of us stand together and go, nah, not happening. I think the smaller the voices will go, but I think they'll still be there, but they'll just maybe just pop up every so often, like, you know, rear the ugly heads every so often, and then go back down again. So yeah, I think like I say, yeah, I'll always be there, but I think as the women grow stronger, the problem will lessen, and it'll just be a case of flare-ups, I think.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, well said. Totally agree. And in terms of like, again, getting back to like sort of like the positive in-ring stuff, you know, won the ICW Women's Championship. I think that's sort of, obviously it's only March, but like in terms of a past 12 months, I think it crowns off a pretty impressive 12 months for you. Like in terms of the rise you've had, like it's just been crazy. It's been amazing to see like how far you've come in that 12 months and the bookings you're getting, and like the fact that basically like, especially like British wrestling Twitter is just like blowing up about you. Like most days I see like people are loving you at the minute. Like we talked about the journey and stuff earlier of getting on ICW. What about that journey? Like in that like sort of last 12 months, 18 months, have you been able to like sit back and appreciate like those moments and how far you've come and all the stuff you've already achieved?
Do you know what? I don't think I've been able to appreciate it as much as I'd like to. There's been times where I've just been sat there kind of like, I feel like my brain's just shut off and I've just gone in like a shutdown mode because I'm kind of like, what is happening? What is going on? Because like I feel like it's just been like a runaway train this past 12 months, like or 18 months, like you say. It's just been one thing after another, and I'm just, like I say, it's not slowing down. And with that in my head, like me, I've always kind of loved sports and stuff. So like as an athlete, I always think, right, okay, with these opportunities now, it's up, like again in the gym, it's up in the game, so it makes my outside wrestling routine more intense. So I think kind of going wrestling gym, and then your actual, some bit of a social life that I might have. I think it seems like, I don't know, I don't feel like there's enough hours in the day at the minute to get everything done. And social media, I'm not great at, to be fair. It is one of my areas that I need to improve on. I just, you know, I'm not one of those. I think because, again, going back to it, it could be negative. Did I choose not to, you know, not to let it get into my head? So I just choose to stay off it, you know, and I try and do days where I'm off it quite a lot and stuff like that, just for me and for like my mental health and my just general sanity. So it's hard because I don't feel like I have had that moment to be like, that sit down moment to be like, wow, let's just go back and just see everything I've done. I think it's only like when I come onto a podcast and things like this and people will go, oh God, in these past 12 months you've done this, and start rattling it off, and I'm like, oh my God, is that me? Like, I've done that.
Are you sure?
So,
like,
maybe not the right person. But then when I think about it, I'm like, oh God, yeah, it was me. Yeah. Oh yeah. And then it starts ticking in my head. I'm like, Jesus, all these things are just, I'm losing them because it's going so fast. So I do think I need to have a day where I like completely shut everything off and just like kind of sit and reflect and go, wow, like look what we've done. Yeah. Like look what's happened in this time.
Yeah, you've been smashing it. You've been absolutely killing it. It's been so good to see. It's been so cool. I mean, like, talking about some of the stuff you've done, and then we'll talk about some of the stuff you've got coming up as well. Talk to me about Eve, because we're a couple of days, like you said, removed from Eve, from International Women's Day. They did the double header. And that was super cool. Amazing 2 shows. I only went to the first one. Couldn't make the second one, unfortunately. But people I know who are at the second one said it was great as well. I mean, in terms of like getting booked on Eve, and again, especially the rise you've had at Eve, because it doesn't seem like that long ago that you made your debut. Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems like they've pushed you hard. Now, Dan has gone all in on you, which has been super cool. Like, and like again, we've had people who are like regulars on Eve come on before, and they say that Eve feels like a really good booking when you first get it, because you know that Dan is so specific about what he wants and so demanding about what he wants from his wrestlers, and like he knows when you're good enough. Like, do you get that feeling when you first get booked on Eve? Do you feel that feeling of like, oh, I've got to impress him because like he knows when someone's good enough? I want to like impress him, show him that it was the right call bringing me in.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly the same thing. Because again, if you look back at Eve and they're like, if you don't follow Eve or whatever, if you do go and have a look at their past and stuff and the shows that are available on YouTube and subscribe and all that lot, you'll see the shows that they used to put on and the women that they've had and where them women have gone now. So to think that as they go off, signed to these big companies and doing great, obviously them spots become available, and it's always a chance for a reshuffle. So I think like you look at it and think, right, this is somewhere a lot of the top women are. And that's essentially, you need to wrestle people better to get better. I always think if you're wrestling people that are better than you, that will make you better. So that is a place that you are striving to be, because you know that that's where they all are. So definitely, like when I got it, I was like, okay, now let me show him, like, let me show him that what's the worth here.
Yeah.
Because again, it's with me living in Preston, it's another 4 odd hours to be brought down, so it's another long journey, and a lot, could be said to be a lot of fuel expense or, travel expense. So it's added that on to all the other women that are fighting them spots. You've also got to prove that you're worth the money of coming down there. So definitely when I got it, I was like, right, no, yeah, game time. Let's go. Let me show you.
For sure. And that's the thing, isn't it? Like, again, and you've had like an amazing run there. Do you feel like, how does it feel when you're sort of, again, in the middle of that sort of push that you're sort of getting and being booked the way you are, say somewhere like Eve, and you're getting all these great matches, and like there's little sort of like undercurrents of storyline of like where you could be going. Like how does that feel when you're in the middle of it, in terms of let's keep this going, let's keep this train rolling?
I think it's a weird one, because when you're in the middle of it, you're looking at it and you're like, right, okay, what's next? How can I make sure that that's something different, something great? So you're always kind of, even though you're in it, you're always kind of looking at what's next. Because again, it goes to the maintenance. So how do I maintain this level of me, and how do I keep putting on this level of matches, and how with the different people that I'm being presented, and for me, I always like to be, I don't want to be a predictable wrestler, and I also don't want to be a single-laned wrestler, you know what I mean? I don't want people to look and go, well, I need someone for this kind of match, so Rhio, I want to be like the wrestler that they're like, right, I need someone for this match, or actually can they put them in this match? And it's like, there's that, that one person you can put them in near enough every match and they can kind of fit in easily. Yeah. That's my goal as a wrestler, to be so like versatile that's an option, because I just think with versatility, you can't argue against that, because you can be literally put into so many situations and make it work. So I think when you've got something good, when you're on a roll and you're getting pushed, I think that's something you need to do. Again, it goes back to not being complacent. I think you need to work harder to ensure that the push continues. You know what I mean? I want it to keep snowballing, and I want that effect to keep happening. So to do that, I need to keep the effort and the work rate going up as well. I want the opportunities to go up, the work rate and the effort goes up. Even though when you're in the moment, you think, I couldn't do anything more. You can always, I guess, do something more, So I'll always be trying to work harder, maybe in the gym longer, maybe do that extra set, maybe run an extra bit, or, there's always something. But yeah, I think because I'm getting the push and I'm getting the opportunity, I feel that I need to do my end of the bargain, which again is bringing the look physically and bringing the physicality in the ring as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really interesting, because something I spoke about with Amir Jordan yesterday when we recorded it, is the fact that he was like, sort of, once in wrestling, once you're over, like once people know who you are, then like you're never over again after that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're over once. Like, you can be over in different promotions, but once you're over as a character, as a figure in the wrestling business, you're over. That's when people know you, and there's only that one time that people are like, this is the first time we know about this person. Do you have that, like, Do you think you've had that moment, whether it's Eve or at North or at ICW or like anywhere, where you in your head you were just like I've made it, like this is the moment, people know me now?
I don't think so. Only purely because I think it's the way I think about things. So I think in my head I would never be like that, just because I think even if I'm over with 99% of the room, I feel like there's always gonna be that one person that I need to get. There's always that one promotion that I need to get. There's always like, you know, online presence and stuff I need to do to get the online fans from abroad and stuff. So for me, I think I need, you know, I always have that need to do more. But I think I would never say I've peaked or anything like that, or I've done it, because there is someone else that I could be, you know, I could turn into a fan of mine who isn't at the minute. There is always that person that hasn't seen me, or maybe they're a bit like, yeah, I like it, but just like, yeah, I like her isn't good enough. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to be like, like losing their minds when they see my match graphic being announced, or my entrance music and stuff. And I do feel at Eve, I do feel like when I come out, like I feel the love, you know what I mean? I do feel it. And I feel like same at ICW and stuff, I do feel it, but like I just always strive to make it more, you know?
Yeah, no, I get that. Well, we're going to split up this chat with a couple of fun features, because we've got a feature here called Dishing the Dirt. And it's basically, I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to tell me sort of which wrestler it reminds you of.
Okay.
And because you're the ICW Women's Champion, we're going to sort of try and turn it towards ICW. So who in the ICW locker room it reminds you of?
Okay.
And they're all pretty nice. If I'm honest, there's not much dirt dished. It's mainly pretty positive questions. So I'll give them to you, and you let me know what you think. So the first one is who's always running late?
Ooh, running late. Doesn't seem to be. None of the girls particularly run late. If anything, it'd be one week, it'd be one of them, one week it'd be the next because of work. So none of them particularly are late runners.
Sure.
Especially ICW has a call time. So, yeah, no one's particularly late, I don't think.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't.
That's good though. Like that's good. That's good that people are punctual. That's always nice to hear.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, even if it's probably me.
Well, this next one, I say this is always one of the two that could actually get you some real life heat, depending on who you say.
Yeah.
So this one is who's got the worst music taste?
Ooh.
And obviously, music is all subjective. So just in your opinion, who puts something on and you're like, oh, that is a terrible song?
Do you know what? We don't put music on in the.
Oh, what about outside, like travelling and stuff? Is there anyone who?
See, this is the problem with ICW. Maybe for me is like they all live in Scotland, so I don't travel with them. So and then when they come, like they'll go to TNT or something. I don't travel with them again, so I don't really get to travel with them. I do think like maybe Casey and Molly are maybe a bit more. I don't know. I don't know if heavy metal's the right way.
I think they are though. Yeah, Casey's definitely. Yeah,
that's the right way. I wouldn't say it's not my style. I do like every kind of music, but I'm more of a rap girl. So maybe just put it on Molly and Casey. I'm sure they'll. No,
to be honest, as a fellow metalhead, that sort of hurts a little, but I understand it. I understand it's not to everyone's taste. I get it. Next one is who's the comedian of the locker room? Who can you always count on to make you laugh the most?
Probably Debbie. Well, I'll say them. Denise from who's with the Jackie Polo.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's crazy. She's crazy.
Nice.
Anytime she's around, I'm like, usually I'm in stitches and can barely breathe.
That's always good. As long as it's not right before your match and then you need to go out and get hugged and you're like, no.
Yeah, I stay away from it just before my match because I just know I'll go out and I'll be wheezing, I won't be able to breathe. Love
it. The next one is sort of like a double thing. It's like who takes the longest to get ready, like both pre and post match sort of thing.
Ooh. You see all the girls in there, you know, either they're glamorous, but then Casey's got a face paint to do.
I was going to say, I imagine that takes a little while.
Yeah, because she's quite the perfectionist, so. Ooh. But then, you know, Molly Spartan is, she's like the beautiful bruise, and she's like the way her hair just flicks over and stuff, you know, and her makeup's always well done. And Angel Hayes is the same, like her makeup's always well done, her hair's really nice. Probably the three of them combined.
Just take ages,
Yeah, I think the three of them combined are probably the ones. I mean, afterwards when they've had matches and stuff, they get ready quite quick. Get back into
just
normal
get out,
clothes, sweaty wrestling gear, and get into your normal clothes. So they're all pretty quick at that. But to get ready with makeup and hair, I do think the three combined for different reasons.
Sure, nice. The next one is, who brings like the best food, like in terms of maybe it's like their pre-match, like pre-show sort of meal, or like snacks and stuff? Is there anyone who brings particularly like banging food? Because I know in the Eve locker room everyone says it's Nina, right? And that's the thing with Nina, like she's just a great baker. Is there anyone similar like in ICW who just brings like great snacks and you're like, oh, I wish I had that?
No.
No
one brings nothing. Oh, do you know what? I will give it to Denise again.
Oh yeah.
She always brings a water, some summer fruit cordial, and an energy drink.
Nice.
And now she's always started to bring one for me because I'm a liability and forget and end up dehydrating and dying. And there's like that little meme, like they hydrate or dihydrate. So we do that. So
nice, love that.
Hydrates me. So it's gotta be Denise again.
Love that. Well, this one is the other one, like the music one, that I think will get you like real life heat depending on what you say. We're not talking in the ring, we're talking outside the ring here. Who has the worst dress sense?
Ooh.
Is there anyone who like turns up and you're like, oh, I can't believe you're wearing that?
No. Do you know what? No, because I like everything that they all wear. I mean, again, I think Casey might be the bit more like the maybe black gothic kind of look, which I love wearing black, so I always like that. And then Molly's usually ready to fight someone. She always looks like she's ready to go. She's usually like gym leggings or whatever and like a tank top. So I'm always a fan of that as well. And then like Angel Hayes is always in like some really nice jeans and a nice little top. And then Denise is always just in amazing outfits anyway. As you can see on ICW, so.
What about any of the guys? Are there any other guys you see like just around the show who are like dressed in their normal clothes and you're like, oh, that's not a good style. That's not a good look.
No.
Everyone's pretty well dressed at ICW.
Yeah, like the lads are usually in like joggers and like a nice little top. It's like a lot of people in gym wear. I think with wrestling, you just put your comfort clothes on.
Yeah.
So it's usually like jumpers and joggers. No one really comes out with like outrageous bad style, to be fair.
There we go. ICW killing it. Great style at ICW.
There is, yeah. I can't pick on anyone that I think like when I've seen them, I'm like, what the hell are you wearing? You know, like.
That's good. That keeps you in the good books of everyone though as well.
It does, and I would be honest, as like it's one of those. If I thought like you were wearing something, I thought, what the hell is that? I'd probably just say it, and I'd take the chance of getting a black eye or whatever. So.
Well, we've been very nice about style, and that sort of leads us nicely into the next one because now I'm talking about in the ring. If you had to borrow someone's like ring gear for a show because like you didn't have yours and you needed like someone, whose ring gear would you want? Whose ring gear do you like the most that's not yours?
Ooh. This is definitely not Denise's attire. I don't want Denise's. Definitely not Denise in this one. Maybe Angel Hayes for the point that it's like a two-piece like mine, but obviously hers is like a lot sparklier and a lot more girly and like, you know, I think hers is a lot more elegant looking than mine. I just look like I'm gonna come in and destroy someone. So, but yeah, I think because it's a two-piece. I know Molly wears the one-piece, and Casey sometimes has a one-piece and sometimes has kind of like pants, like. So I'm not sure they would really be me. I think I am more of a two-piece kind of person. So yeah, I'd probably say Angel Hayes for that one.
Nice. Gotta go with the sparkles. Love it.
Oh yeah, gotta go with a little bit of glitz and glam. Come on, some point.
Love that. The next one is who do you think would throw the best party in the locker room? Like in the weird scenario where everyone in the ICW locker room was hosting a party on the same day and they all invited you. Which one would you go to? Like who do you think would be? This is going to be the best one. I got to go to this one.
Probably Molly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good shout.
She's just like, you know, one of those people, she knows, like, the most random of random people. And she's like a massive brain for creativity. So you'd walk into a party and not know what to expect.
Yeah.
Like, it would be the most random but amazing thing that you could ever go to. So yeah, I think I'd give that to Molly, to be fair.
Nice, love that. And I feel like I've got an answer in mind here, so I'm interested in what you say. Who would you pick as your partner in the zombie apocalypse? Who would you trust to have your back the most in the zombie apocalypse?
I'd have to say Molly or Casey in that.
I would have said Casey.
One of them. Yeah. One of them too, because I think that's just their style. That's what... I don't think Angel Hayes would help me out that much.
She would throw you to them and run.
Probably, yeah. Or use me to, like, as a shield or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think... And then Denise would probably keep me hydrated, but otherwise she'd probably have legged it anyway, so she'd be gone.
She'd chuck you your energy drink and be like, that's it, I'm off.
Yeah, have your energy drink, but I'm glad things out. There's Moxie and Daisy and Ellie, the girls that you start to see now coming through. But also, I do think they probably would run as well. Yeah, they'd leave me. It's got to be Casey or Molly. Like I say, maybe more so Casey. But then actually, when Molly as well, I feel like she'd just get in there for the sake of doing it. I think she'd love to tackle some zombies. So
yeah.
I could just see that being one of the things she wants to do. So yeah, Casey and Molly, we'll give that to them too.
Love it, brilliant. Well, we've got another feature coming up a little bit later, but we'll break it up with sort of something you've got coming up, because this is going to come out sort of a week or two before you take your place in the North NCL Cup, which is going to be phenomenal. Incredible roster of talent they've got there at North. Like, we've had loads of people come on who represent North, and like they just have the best things to say about it. And North are absolutely killing it at the minute. So, how much are you looking forward to being in the cup? Again, like all the talent that's on in that tournament, it's just incredible. It just shows like the incredible like up and coming talent we've got here on the scene. Like, how are you gonna make that cup yours? How are you gonna get through all that great talent?
See, that's hard because you did like. There's so many different styles, isn't there? There's different sizes, there's different styles, there's different people with different attitudes. So it's like, I'm not sure, you know. I'm just gonna have to go in and do what I do regardless of who it is. Like, you know, whether I got the biggest person, like I think Will Crew's probably the biggest, or whether I have to battle Luke, which would be interesting. Whether I have to bloody proper fight my way through Lizzie, which, you know.
That's always a battle. Lizzie's always tough. Lizzie's always tough.
He always, like, she'll go in there, she'll not even be bothered, she'll be like dragging everyone. So no matter who she's got in her head, she'll just be like, look, get out of my way. So
I love that the other night at Eve when she came out to face Miyu, and like she came around the ring and you guys were like swearing at each other like around the ring and stuff.
Yeah, the story of me and Lizzie, yeah.
That's great.
That's pretty much how we are.
Yeah.
So it's just us. It's, oh God.
But I love that. Like, would love to see you guys battle for the cup. And again, like you mentioned Luke as well. That's something like when that was announced, that was the match I wanted to see the most, you and Luke. Because obviously it's the Northwest Strong battle. That's it, right? That's what we want to see. I mean, like,
I've never wrestled Luke like that. I've always been on side.
Yeah.
Never opposite. So that would be interesting, definitely. I'm not sure how this is gonna unfold.
I was gonna say, is that gonna create some tension in the ranks? Could that, you know, cause a few issues? You know, I imagine Ridgeway won't be too happy if you guys are battling each other.
It's one of those. I think as long as you leave it in there, regardless of result. You know what I mean? Like, we know with things like this in wrestling, there's always the chance that we're gonna have to battle each other, and if that comes to it, after it's done, you leave it there. It was left there. If there's any wrongdoings, then there'd be a problem. You know, it's got to be a fair match. It's got to be, look, the best person won that day. You leave it and you move on to the next.
Yeah.
So that if it carries on like that, it'll be fine. But if it doesn't, if anything goes wrong, if there's any kind of ill tension there, then no.
There'll be words said. There'll be words said afterwards.
There will be problems. Yeah, there will. So we'll see how that one goes. But North is such an amazing place to work. I must say, like, North is one of my favourites. You know, again, ICW and Eve, again, amazing places to work for. I love both of them, all three of them. All three of them are my top three because they're just so good to me. You know. Yeah. It's just so easy for me. There, like, I don't know, the changing rooms and everything about it. It's just all, I don't know, but they're just special. They make your experience special. They make, when you're there, you have a good laugh and you have a good time, and you know, I do love North. I've got a lot of time for North, and I'm very excited about this cup.
Nice.
And I want the cup, so...
Yeah, we're hoping you win it. We're backing you here. Officially, this is me going on register here. We're back in Rhio for the North NCL Cup. This is it. We want to see her win it. We want to see her take home the trophy.
Thank you, yes.
And that'll be awesome to see. And it's going to be great. Again, like you say, North killing it at the minute. That's going to be such a good competition. The fact that, like, they sold it out just based on those names for the Cup is, like... It just shows what a good place they're in, right? And a great place British wrestling is in.
100%, yeah. Like, North, I think it's got the trust of the fans because they have the consistency. They've delivered. And, like you say, they're selling out now off one match announcement or, like, off a few wrestlers. Like, that's incredible, isn't it? Just to think... You know, I know that after the last show, they'd sold, like, I think they'd sold something stupid, like 100 tickets the night of the last show.
Yeah.
For the Cup one. I was like, Jesus Christ, what? How do you do that? And then it's just, they're just selling out so easy.
Yeah.
Like, it just literally sell out everyone. I can't even think the last North show that wasn't a sellout.
No, I'm struggling. Like, I know that, like, we gave them, like, in our awards last year, we gave them our promotion of the year because every show that year they had a sellout. And they started that this year as well. Like, I can't think of the last time they had it must have been like pre-pandemic, the last time they had a non-sellout show. Because I can't think of a post-pandemic show they haven't sold out.
Yeah, no, it's gotta be. It's gotta be post-pandemic. And I think, like you say again, it does show they bring wrestlers from everywhere, you know, and they've got the best of everywhere. So I think the fact that North is kind of one of the only places I think that will go, you know what, we'll bring people from London, we've got people from Scotland, we've got people from the Midlands, we've got people from Yorkshire, we've got people from the Northwest, we've got people from everywhere, you know, like, they go everywhere to make the show good. Yeah. It's not like, you know, like, sometimes you'll have mainly one and a car from somewhere else, and I get it, expense-wise, I 100% get it. But North, they just bring who they want based on the wrestling. Yeah. And, like, kind of where they are doesn't seem to be as big of a problem for North. They're just like, look, we don't care. Yeah. We want this person, and we want them to wrestle this person or whatever, and I think they've got such a good, like you say, such a good pool of talent. It's just... Like, you just look at a North show, and I never look at a North show and go, I can't see that person fitting in. Everyone just fits in well with each other and has a laugh, and, you know, there's no bad personalities or anything like that. So they just have great people around, and I think that helps. Like, they've got a great support system. They treat people well, and in return, they get people doing well for them as well. So I think it's just, I don't know, working with North, it's always fun, and it is one of my favourites. No, it's great. I need to get up to North. That's the problem. They sell out too quick. And, like, living in London, I need to, like, properly plan a weekend in Newcastle if I want to go to North. But then they sell out too quick and I can't get... Yeah, do you know what? I think I might have to have a word with North because I've had a few fans say to me in London, like, I wanted to get tickets, but they've gone. And I'm like, okay. So maybe what we might have to do is say, look, North, was there any chance of maybe a North weekender? You know, gives, like, the fans in London a bit of a chance to come up, and then it's not so much of a bad journey if they do. You know, if you get, like, a hotel or something. We need that, yeah. We had a bigger venue. Can we look at a bigger venue, North? Can we up? Yeah. We had Andy on the show. We had Andy on the show a little while ago, and I said to him, like, is there a possibility of bringing a North show south? Like, because that'd be something. That'd be huge. But obviously, I appreciate that's a whole nother undertaking. That's a lot bigger. Yeah, maybe, yeah. But maybe, let's try the bigger venue in, like, maybe Newcastle. I think. Or the weekender thing, yeah, I like that idea. Yeah. But I think North travel around, I don't think it's a bad idea also, though. Yeah. I think, like I say, again, it goes with the amount of wrestlers they use in different places. Is it, like, it wouldn't be hard for them to move around and go from place to place because they use so many wrestlers of that area as well that people want to see, and then wrestlers of the other areas that they also want to see. So I think North would make it would... I think it'd work. Yeah. It'd work. Yeah, Andy, make it happen. We'll talk. We'll make it happen. Yeah. We'll get it done. Yeah, we'll get onto it. Love it. And we talk about the amazing year you've had. Obviously, we can't talk about all that without talking about your trip out to Japan. Because that was incredible. Again, like, just super cool seeing you out there and getting that opportunity. How was that? Just not terms in just of, like, the in-ring, like, wrestling, but as an experience, how was that being out there and, like, sort of embracing, like, that culture and again, like, the work as well, but, like, what was that whole experience like for you? Oh, it's the best, you know. Japan is one of the things, like, I've always wanted to do since I got into kind of wrestling now. So I never really knew too much about Japan, obviously, when I was a kid, because when I was a kid I kind of just watched WWE. I didn't really know there was much more. And I didn't really know about the indies and stuff, you know? So, like, I was like, when I got into wrestling and started getting into, like, the indies and, like, the wrestling from other places as well, I was like, oh, wow. I started watching Japanese wrestling and I got really into Bull Nakano. I went back. So I got really into Bull Nakano, and I was like, whoa, like this is like someone I can see, I would like to wrestle like her kind of thing. So yeah, I started watching it, and then I just thought, do you know what? Like I've heard a lot about like how they train and what they do, and I was like, no, I've got to go out there and try this. I want to experience it. So when the opportunity came around, so I was kind of like, I didn't know how you got their attention. You know, do you just do what you're doing and they find you, or like I didn't really know. But you never know who's watching you when you wrestle. I'll give it that. Like you think it's maybe a few people online on the stream, or you think it's the fans in attendance, but there is always certain people watching you. You know, like that is something that I've started to realise the past maybe 6 months or so. Is I feel like, okay, I didn't know you was watching me. Yeah. Such a person, this all makes sense now. Yeah. So, but yeah, like getting to go out there and experience the culture, not even just like wrestling there, but like I say the Japanese culture in general. Oh, it's incredible. Like the word I use now, if anyone asks me about Japan, is like it's magic. Because I don't know how to explain it in any other way.
It's a whole different world, isn't it? Just like compared to like what we're used to here, it's just like so far the opposite. Yeah,
it is. It's like everything's just I don't even know. Like everything's just magic. It's so cool. Such a cool place. And like the wrestling's amazing. Yeah, everyone knows the wrestling's incredible. But to go out there and get the chance to wrestle their girls, you know. So far I've kind of wrestled like Yuki Ono, I've wrestled Makito, I've wrestled Miyu, Yamashita, so and that they were all like the singles matches, and just being given that opportunity, it's just I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
like
mind blowing.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You talk about Miyu. Obviously, Miyu had an incredible match with Lizzie. Like again, a couple of days removed from when we're recording this at Eve. She won the title off Alex Windsor. Which another incredible match, just an unbelievable match, that one as well. Like how does it feel coming up against Miyu? I want to ask about Miyu specifically because in my mind, Miyu is like I would say male or female at the moment probably one of the top 5 wrestlers in the world.
100%
like,
agree with you.
So and maybe even top 3. So like how does it feel to come up against someone who is like just simply put that good? Like that technically brilliant in the ring.
You know, like it's hard because with Miyu, you know her talent, but it's her entrance from her coming through that curtain to the bell going. It's intense, and being the person across from her, it's really intense because she's got this look in her eye like she wants to kill you, and you're like, oh god. Like you try not to look her in the eye, you just think, oh, this is actually freaking me out a bit.
Like a Medusa thing, like you're going to turn to stone or something if you look her directly in the eye.
This is it, yeah. She's just so focused and stern. She's just like, she's got poker face, not even, like her face doesn't move. And you're like, oh, and even, you know, people can be chanting stuff, and you've got, you know, someone like Millie, you could have someone like Millie messing around and doing what Millie does, and her face doesn't move. And you're like, whoa. Not even a tiny flinch anywhere. Yeah. So she's just so focused from a second that she hears that music, she's like, game time. And I think when you're in there with someone like that, you know it's hard to get them off guard because she's so on it. She's so like ready.
Yeah. Does it up your level? Does it make you work harder being in there with like someone like that?
Yeah, definitely. Because you know fine well that she's coming in to do the job she's here to do. And especially, I think it's worse. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to say worse when she's the champion. But actually, I don't think it is. I think if she's gunning for you, it might be worse.
It might be worse if she's the challenger wanting what you've got, yeah.
Yeah, but then actually, I think she takes great, like everyone does, and everyone should, but I think her more so, like the pride she takes in being champion and going back to Japan as like Eve champion is hard. Like, I think the only way you're going to get that championship offer is if you're prying it from a cold dead body, because she's not going to let that go, you know, like she's got her bloody hands clenched on that thing. And I think when you've got someone who's so well gifted in like her martial arts background, like her kicks,
they're deadly, aren't they? They're lethal. Like you see them like all the time. They're just but
they're bang on. They are bang on target. She never misses. That's the problem. Like when obviously people move and stuff, she misses them, but like even if she's hitting you, when she hits you right, and that's it. I think I kind of look at her like that way, like a deadly kind of snake kind of thing. You know, like if it goes for you and you manage to move, lucky you. But you know when it gets you, it's got you and that's it. Like it's that kind of thing, and it's just like I was watching it again. Like I was watching her and Lizzie, and like they had that killer match. Like oh, so good. So I mean, but I would expect nothing less from them too. You know what I mean? Like, but it was so good. But there was like at one point I remember in particular watching it, and Lizzie was down, which you don't see often. But Lizzie was down, and I could see me, and you can see her like literally like weighing people up. Like she kind of does that thing like where her fist is there ready.
Yeah.
And you can see her like literally eyeing you up and sizing you up for that kick coming. And to see that when I wrestled her, I didn't see that because I was down as well. So I didn't obviously see that coming. But when you're then watching her live do it to someone else, you're like, oh my God, she is literally sizing you up.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Before you know it, the kick's connected.
And you're gone, that's it. You're done. 1, 2, 3. But big up, like, again, like, big up me. She's amazing. And, like, again, Lizzie in that match, incredible. She deserved that opportunity so much.
100%.
Like,
100%.
And she killed it.
Another one is, like, top in the world, male or female. Like, another person that I'm just like, there's no, like, you know, for what she brings, she's unapologetically her.
Yeah.
And not many people can do that with that confidence.
Exactly. And the thing is with Lizzie, like, love seeing her on the British scene, but if someone like an Impact or an AEW came in for her, I'd be like, that's the coolest shit. Like, she would deserve that so much because she is like fantastic. So like, she's like one of the best in the country. Like, never mind, like, you know, the world as well, but like easily one of the best in the country. And yet I still feel like she's really underrated just globally.
Yeah, criminally. Yeah, 100% does not get the flowers that she deserves worldwide for like everything that she is, because there's just no one that compares for what she does. What she does and how she does it, for me, like, I don't know. I mean, obviously her being a Scouser and her broad Scouse accent obviously helps with her being unapologetically her, so there's not a lot of people who can do that, you know. But like, it's just when she's in there, she's like another level of focus, you know, like she knows what she wants, so she's going to go through you to get it. She's got the full intention of destroying you to get to where she wants, but where Miyu, I think, try and gets the job done. She just wants to get the job done, finish you, and then, you know, just sit and be champion and be happy again and move on to the next person. Lizzie's kind of got that thing where that's what she wants to do, but she toys with people, you know, like... Yeah,
she loves to, like, mess with you, like, take her time over, methodical, like, pick you apart kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it, and, you know, she'll have her fun first before she ends it, you know what I mean? So... Yeah. She's like deadly in a different way. No, I
love it. Big up Lizzie. Well,
big up Lizzie.
We've been lovely about a lot of people here. We're going to know a bit more about you now in our final feature. This is called Anatomy of a Pro Wrestler. And this isn't about Rhio anymore. This is about you, like, in your opinion. Not as Rhio, just as yourself. Okay. So I'm going to, again, put some questions to you, and you let me know what comes to mind.
Perfect.
So the first one is my favourite post-pinfall pig out.
Ooh.
Like, we're not talking about, like, most people say McDonald's because it's the only thing that's open, but we're saying, like, everything's open. You've got your pick of what you want. Post-show, post-match, what would you go for, given the choice of anything?
Healthy, I'd go for some kind of, like, grilled salmon noodles. That'd be my thing. Unhealthy, I quite like desserts.
Nice. What'd you go for dessert-wise? What's your favourite dessert?
Depends on my mood, but I like a warm cookie doughy ice cream, you know. I think that's like a nice contrast of like hot and cold and stuff. Or like a waffle or something like that.
Nice. Love it. Next one is, it's also food related, but it's the classic, like, what would your like death row meal be? What would your last meal be?
Ooh. Well, I can put all the garlic in that I want, so it'd be something with garlic.
Don't have to worry about that anymore, yeah.
That's it. I'm out there. I'd get really good dessert as well. I'd go like probably God knows how many courses I'd do.
Nice. Yeah. Although you say that, like, garlic might be good, right? Garlic might be good if you like, you go to the executioner then, and then they're like, any last words, and then you speak, and you like the smell of the breath just like knocks them out, and then you're free. You're done.
That's true. Actually, I could save my own life to do that. I do like pasta dishes, so maybe like, for me, like a tomato based pasta I prefer. I don't like creamy pastas, make me feel a bit sick. Might be a bit rich. So like a tomato based pasta, I'm a very simple person. A jacket potato with cheese.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, classic.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then the salmon noodles. Obviously, I always love salmon and noodles. It has to be grilled though. Not too. Don't be giving me no raw. And I don't really like smoked salmon, so just like normal grilled salmon would do.
Nice.
Suffice. Garlic bread. We'll go with some garlic bread for me pasta. You know.
Love it.
Extra garlic in the pasta.
Yeah.
And in the noodles. And the dessert, I reckon. Dessert and drink wise, not too bothered about the drinks. I'd probably have like a cactus flavoured Red Bull for my way out.
Nice. Good shout. The next one is the song that gets me the most hyped.
Probably Nicki Minaj's Moment for Life.
Nice. Banger. What a banger.
Yeah. That one gets me like, this is it. It's your moment to go for it.
Nice. Great choice. The next one is the movie that I chose, The Locker Room. So, like, I always say, like, it doesn't have to be your favourite movie, but you think, like, the movie you think everyone should see at some point.
Ooh. Do you know, it's probably not what you expect. Mulan. I love Mulan.
Mulan's great. We're talking the original, though, right? Not the remake. The animation original.
No, the original. Always the original. The remakes are all well and good, but no. Gotta be the original.
Nice.
I love the original Mulan, you know.
Mulan is great. Mulan's a great one. Again, like a very underrated Disney film. Everyone always goes like something like Lion King or like Aladdin and like or Little Mermaid or something. But Mulan is great.
Isn't it? Yeah. So Mulan, everyone's got to watch Mulan. If you haven't, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Go and watch Mulan if you haven't.
Love that. Yeah. It's sort of what we were talking about earlier, isn't it? It's a very like that very like fuck you, I'm a woman, I can do it just as well as the men can do movie.
This is it. I think it's anything empowering. I'm like, yeah, fucking go for it. You know what I mean?
Love that.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Love it. The next one's a bit of a throwback because it's your first job.
Ooh. First job? I think, other than a paper round, which is a really bad first. I hate those. Like, whoever, delivering God knows how many papers before school for like £1. No thanks. Like, I don't know who decided that was an okay thing years ago. But whoever it was, come and find me, because that's not okay. That's not okay. So, like, a horrible, horrendous paper round that I think I did for about 6 weeks. I was like, sack this.
Fuck that. Yeah.
And then when I was 16, I got a job in a kitchen. I did pot washing.
Oh, nice. Another, like, sort of classic first, like, teenage job sort of thing.
Yeah. So, pot washing job on a Sunday, all Sunday dinner plates and stuff.
Yeah. Fun times. Right. Fun times. Good times.
Yeah. Good kitchen vibes. So
nice.
And a free dinner afterwards. So.
Oh, well, that's it. That's all you work then. That's your work done then, right? Isn't it? That's all you work for.
This is it. I work for food. You know this. Hot dog and a handshake. And I worked for a Sunday dinner at 16.
And it was all leading to that moment. That's all it led. Destined to be a wrestler from that day.
I was full circle moment when I got the hot dog and handshake, you see. This is it. This is my life.
Love that. The next one gets a little deep because it's my greatest fear.
Ooh, greatest fear. Greatest fear, probably, other than like losing family members or like anything like that. I think greatest fear, because I think that's one for everyone, isn't it? Really. But I think the greatest fear is looking back years to come and go, I didn't take the chance. I didn't just do something. I think you've got to really live your life for now. Like, at one point I was trying to diet ridiculously, and I'd go out for a family meal and I'd just get a salad, or like I wouldn't go out drinking with my friends and stuff like that. And I think when you start getting to a mindset, you can't, like, you block yourself off.
Yeah.
Even if your goal is, if your goal is to be a bodybuilder and stuff, I guess you got to sacrifice and stuff, but just don't ever not do stuff. Then get to an age where you can't do it anymore, or you just don't do it anymore, and then look back and go, oh, I wish I'd have gone out with my friends at that point, or I wish I'd have said yes, I wish I'd have jumped off a balcony. I wish I'd have whatever. I don't condone that by any way. Before people come and attack me for that, I do not condone jumping.
Professionals, you're professionals. You did it professionally. It's fine. Don't just regular people. Don't go doing that.
Yeah, professional trained athlete. I wouldn't advise anyone else to do it. That was me doing it stupidly. Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. But like, I think take the chance to do stuff. Like, and as well, I think in the modern day, mental health is a big thing. take the chance to go and see people, because unfortunately life's short and some people's lives are shorter. So never, I think never limit yourself. Take every opportunity given, take every chance, take some risk. I think with me, I do like to do calculated risks. I do like to look at it and go, okay, what's the pros and cons? And if they're weighing up the same, I'm most likely to take the risk. And if it's like 80% that it's going to pay off, yeah. As we start with like under 50% it's going to work, then I'm a bit like, maybe I won't. But I think when it comes to risk, because of that, the fear of the unknown, people shy away. But I do think sometimes there comes a point where if you look at it and you weigh it up, sometimes in life, take some risks. Because life is for living, not for existing. That's what I try and remember. You're not here just to exist. You're here to live it, and you've got one. So live it to the best of your potential. And whatever you find is the best way to live, then live it.
Yeah.
I think just the fear of looking back and saying, I wish I would have. That's my fear. I don't want to look back and have to do that.
No, I get that. I love that. And I love the message as well, because it's spot on. It's absolutely spot on. So I love that. That's great. The next one on this list is favourite animal.
Whoa, that's hard, but I love animals. Oh. Do you know, I'm going to have to say a dog. And I know
Classic.
I know it's not the most exciting answer, but dogs they do just walk around, don't they? Causing absolute happiness and not even realising.
They are adorable.
They do. And you could be having the worst day in the world and you walk past someone's dog in the park and it's just wagging its little tail, live happy with its little stick. And you just think, look how happy you are.
Just brightens your day, doesn't it? Yeah.
It does. Like, I'm just buzzing to see a dog. I love it when you're at a show and there's a dog there. Oh, that's the best.
Yeah.
I just love dogs. I just think they're so cool. They're so different. So I don't know. They're just happy little creatures.
No, I love
anyone
that.
Happy little creature, I love it.
Yeah,
but if I had to say anything other than a dog, I kind of like dolphins.
Dolphins are cool. Yeah.
I think elephants are cool, and tigers.
Yeah. Some good choices there.
Pandas are funny.
Huh?
Pandas are just pandas.
Oh, I love pandas. I go my favourite animal is red panda though. I like them small and red and just because they look like a pet. They look like they could be a pet then.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are proper cute then. I've seen quite a few videos where they get startled.
Oh, those are the best. Yeah, the startled red panda videos are incredible. They're just so cute. They're adorable.
Yeah, they're good. I love those ones. And then I like usually Ant the editor sends
Yeah, he posts a lot of those, doesn't he? He loves it.
And I love it as well. I love seeing it's the pandas doing the rolls and stuff. And they're just such big, clumsy animals.
Love that. Some great choices. Some great animal choices. Love it. I understand how you couldn't limit yourself, though. I understand how you couldn't limit yourself because there's a lot of cool animals out there.
There isn't. You can't just choose one.
Exactly.
I do love dogs. I think because you can have a dog in your house.
Yeah, it's more attainable, right?
Yeah, that's it. Can't just go and get yourself a tiger or a dolphin. That's
no.
Not really possible. So,
no.
Maybe Mike Tyson possible, but
if you're Mike Tyson, you can. Yeah, I imagine if you're Mike Tyson, you can get whatever you want, but.
Yeah, that's it. No one's gonna tell him no.
Yeah. Love it. The next one is my favourite wrestling match stipulation. And I'm assuming it won't be women's match.
Yeah. Any of the women's matches, I like them.
It can be like a singles match. We've had a few people ask, a singles match is a stipulation in this environment. So literally whatever your favourite type of match is.
I do I mean, if I'm honest, I do prefer singles over any kind of tag matches and stuff. I don't mind multi-people matches. I don't mind those, I hate triple threats. I hate them with a passion. I despise a triple threat. But I do get put in a lot of them. But I do I do hate them.
Do the people booking you in them know that you hate them?
I don't think they do. I think they book me in them thinking that I like them, but I actually have to tell you the truth. I despise them with an absolute passion.
Oh no.
But yeah, I've got one this month to do. So. But I think anything, maybe no DQs. I do like those. I like to be able to bend the rules a bit and
have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, do what I want balcony if it's there.
Yeah, so, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
You know what I mean? But no DQ. I think it's just fun, and you get to go out and into the crowd, and I think you get to deliver that kind of wrestling right at the feet. So I think that's quite fun.
Yeah.
To do that, not like worrying that you're gonna get counted out by a referee. So you've got
that mad dash back to the ring. Yeah.
That's it. Chill out, ref. I'm all right. There's no rules. Leave me be.
Love it. The next one is my favourite place in the world.
Ooh. People might laugh. Other than home, because I'm very much a home person. I love being at home. And that's what makes home, isn't it? Like, you just love being there. And other than the north, no offence to the southerners, but I love being back up north.
Yeah.
I think Japan's always a good place. Japan, again, for the wrestling and the culture and the experience, that'll always be like one of my top ones. And then, like, relax-wise, like, holiday-wise, for me, if I was to be like, let me go away for a week and come back, it'd either be like Tenerife or Madeira.
Nice. Bit of sun and sand and sea.
Oh, yeah. Just
Classic.
That ultimate relaxation thing for me.
Yeah, I love that. Well, that's the thing. That's the final question is your dream holiday destination, and you've answered it there.
Well, see, I've been to those ones, though. So if I'd say a dream one that maybe I've not been to, might be... I can't decide because there's so many places that I haven't been. Like, I don't... Holiday-wise, I don't really do long-haul holidays. I kind of do, like, holidays that are quite close.
Yeah.
Like, more than 4 hours, I'm a bit like, oh, God.
Yeah,
so,
I'm the same.
Yeah, it's a bit much, innit? So maybe Caribbean, Mexico, or Australia.
Nice. Yeah. Love that.
Again, all sun, all sand.
Yeah.
That's my vibe, so.
Yeah, there's a definite theme in all these, yeah. I'm getting a sense that you like your beach holiday.
100%. They're my time. Leave me my beach holiday.
Love it. See, like, I'm very different. Me and my partner are very different. We like we do a lot of walking when we're on holiday, like going out exploring. But I imagine when your life is traveling and wrestling and all that, I imagine sitting on a beach is probably the preferable option.
Yeah, it is nice just to sit and unwind.
Yeah.
I do like to go on trips when I'm on holiday. If there's any cool trips, like safari trips or like boat trips and stuff like that, I like to do those. But like, I don't know about the walking thing. I've gone to relax. I've gone to rest. I'm not doing no more extra cardio. I don't know about all that.
No, I get it. I totally understand. I think that wraps things up beautifully. So, Rhio, thank you so much for coming on the Grapple Theory podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Good. No, of course. It's been delightful to get you on. I think it's been a long time coming, so it's great to have you finally on the show. We've got a couple of closing questions for you. The first one, I sort of take from I don't know if you know it, the Diary of a CEO podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, and they do this thing at the end which I really love, and so I've sort of nicked it, and I hope Stephen who runs it doesn't mind. But they ask their guest a question that's been asked by the previous guest, and you're not allowed to know who it is when you answer it. But I'll let you know. I can let you know after recording if you want. So the question you've been left by the last person who recorded it is, if you were to change anything about British wrestling today, what would it be?
Whoa, that's a question now.
It's a good one, isn't it? I like it.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Change anything about British wrestling today.
It's a real thinker.
Yeah, it is. That's proper tough, that, I thought it'd be a bit easier than that.
I think you got like unlucky with the thinker side of it, because the last couple we've had have been like quite quirky and very like just sort of more fun and like jokey. So like you got hit with a proper serious one here.
Yeah, I did. I've got hit with the worst one. Bloody typical. Oh, God. See, I think, like, it's hard because I think, like, British wrestling at the minute is in a really good place. I think, like, say, with the talent that's around, I think we've got really good people around. I think we've got an abundance of talent coming up. So I think we're in a really good position. Oh, God, this is so difficult.
It's a tricky one. It's a really tricky one, isn't it? No, I get that.
Maybe from, like, a selfish point of view, some promotions don't always have water backstage, and I think we should bring our own water and stuff. We should be fully prepared. But sometimes when you've got home late for one show and you're up early for another, you don't really have, you're rushing around sometimes because you've literally had, like, say, 5 hours sleep. And you're like, oh God, like, one eye open, kind of hoping you've still got your wrestling gear in your case and stuff. So I think just having at least, like, water backstage, just for wrestlers, just to make sure that when you come back, if you're a bit dehydrated or if you have took a bit of a knock to the head or something, you've got water instantly. It's not like, oh, does anyone have water? Does anyone, there's not like a frantic panic or anything. And then I think a lot of places now do, because they're kind of like speaking out and stuff, but I do think the medic situation is, whether, first aid train, paramedic, whatever, I think they're essential. If wrestling can just go wrong so quickly, again, it's the risk of wrestling in general, not just certain things. So I think the medic and water, I don't think is too much to ask for at a wrestling show. So they should be, regardless of show size, an essential.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if I was, like, going to a show, I'd be shocked to hear that a venue didn't have either of those things.
Yeah, because that's it. Even if you didn't get us bottled of water, like, I'm sure most venues that are like clubs or places like that, not like necessarily a club, but like a venue, like a music venue and stuff.
Yeah.
You've got access to running water.
Yeah.
From a tap.
You can get like a jug or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like a jug and some cups or something, or like, bottled water from like Aldi or something. You can get like 24 bottles of water for something cheap. You know, it doesn't have to be like Highland Spring. I'm not asking for the Voss water or whatever it's called. Like just water.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a cheap bottle of water from Aldi or Lidl or something would be great.
No.
Just in case you forgot your own, that's all.
Yeah, no, well said. Yeah, agree. Totally agree. Yeah. And that leads us on to our final question, which is we always end by giving our guest one final bit of promo time. So, whether it's at North in the NCL Cup or any other show, or in ICW seeing you defend your title, or in Eve watching you rise the ranks there, or anywhere else in the country or in the world, if someone sees Rhio on a match poster on a show near them and they come and check you out, why is Rhio going to steal the show?
Well, I'm pretty much sure because I've got an attitude like no one else. There's a mindset that I have that is just unbreakable. My mindset's unbreakable. My physical being is unbreakable. You can see by my eyes. Go on, throw your best shot at me. You're not going to destroy me. And again, you can do that online if you want. Throw whatever you want at me. Doesn't affect me. I've got a job at the end of the day, and I'm going to go in and do it. And I'm going to do it with sick hair as well. So you'd be stupid to miss it.